understand that, shall rise first. Read.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
So we that are alive, then you know it's going to be a whole lot of people dead. Does it say we that are alive and remain? Then you know it's not going to be a lot of people that's going to be alive, living. There's not a lot of people that's going to be remain. Remember he said it, the least shall not fall upon the earth, right? This is how we're not going to fall upon the earth. We're not going to be flat-lined on the earth. Because it says, then we which are alive and remain, but you know that a lot of people are going to be dead, and a lot of people are not going to remain because they're going to be dead. Verse 17.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Most High, Wah HaMashiach Yahushua, in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Most High, Wah HaMashiach Yahushua.
Okay.
Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
Right, so that's why I said the least not going to fall upon the earth. Because the chariots will come down and get us, if it's the Most High will, if we endure to the end. And He's going to take us up in the air. Right? Then Revelation 11 and 12.
Revelations chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
So they heard a great voice, like we just heard in Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, 16th verse. We'll hear the trumpet of the Most High, and the archangel will sound, and we're going to ascend up into heaven in a cloud, in the chariots of the Most High. It tells you that in Psalms 104 and 3. Get that. This cloud, so it says hip talk. But it's, understand this, it is understandable by the precepts of the Most High, which we're going to look at. Read that.
Psalms chapter 104, verse 12. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have...
Psalms 104 and 3.
104. Psalms chapter 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
That's right. So the clouds are his chariots, his vehicles. What we call identified flying objects, IFOs. In the world, Esau's world call them unidentified flying objects because they say, don't be dismayed at the signs in heaven. Well, the heathen are dismayed at the signs in heaven. But we knew that's why we sung the song, so we know it's who chariot. Go back to Revelations, go to Revelation 11 and 12.
Revelations chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
So it's the same thing we read in the 1 Thessalonians 4:16. We are assembled up in the heaven in a cloud, in the chariot of the Most High. Read.
And their enemies beheld them.
And our enemies going to behold us as we going up in the cloud. What's they going to see? They're going to see us going up in this cloud. Read.
And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the Most High of heaven.
That's right, man. That's why when we go up in these chariots, Isaiah 26:20. Just like Noah. Most I said, bring two of everything into the ark, and the Most High, through the power of this Mashiach Yahushua and the angels, close that ark, There's only 8 people that survived the flood. Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. That's why when people think, oh, you hear people almost like they know they're going to make it. The scriptures say, dare not make thyself one of the number. He had 8 people that created everybody that you see that came on this earth after the flood. Read this.
Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment.
It said, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come up hither. He said, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. Read.
Until the indignation be overpassed.
Until the indignation be overpassed, until he destroy what he's going to destroy. In that same hour. Read.
For behold, the Most High cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth.
So the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua coming out of his place to do what?
To punish the inhabitants of the earth.
Oh, you're going to show love and happiness and joy and peace to the inhabitants of the earth. He's coming out of his place to do what?
To punish the inhabitants of the earth.
To punish the inhabitants of the earth. Read.
For their iniquity.
For what?
For their iniquity.
For their iniquity. For their sins against him. Read.
The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
Woo. That's why you look at this, man. Come on. Say the earth will cover the slain no more. Go to Revelation 18. 4.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
So we got to come out of the mindset of this flood of lies that has been taught to us. Say, come out of her, my people. Read.
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
We don't be partakers of the sins of Edom and of these heathen nations that gods are what? Idols. We don't be partakers of her sins. Because where are you going to go to run from Edom? Man, I seen them on the plane. It was indigenous people that was indigenous. Edom might look down from the plane. There go the neighborhood. There go the village. They was primitive. Not really, have access to phones and they living like they lived ages ago. In our time now. They go in there, man, and destroy everything. They are as hell, as it says in the Bible. They rear themselves in the way of what? Wickedness and destruction. You can read that. And our people are caught up in the things that we have been exposed to and don't really care whether it's right or wrong. But the Most High eyes are seeing everything. That's why I say his eyes are upon the simple kingdom. That's where we at. That's why I say come out of her. Don't be like they are. Read.
That you be not partakers of her sins.
And we be not partakers of her sins. When we say you're going to visit the sins of who? Esau, the Edomites. To discover their iniquity. So our people are just like them. Just some chocolate colored, some brown colored Edomites. Because inside, that's who you are. If you follow who it is, you ain't the Most High, the Mashiach not bolder than you. How they gonna make that bolder than you? You don't even believe what he said. You didn't even follow what he said and do. His rules and regulations, but you're gonna say, hey, you're gonna follow the laws of the land. Oh yeah, they make you follow their laws. They bring a judgment on you, but you better believe the judgment of the Most High is gonna be worse than what they ever could do. That's why he said, don't be afraid of those that can kill the body, but be afraid of him that can kill the body and the spirit. And cast you into the hell of fire, man. Eradicate you forever when you burn and be tormented. You think you're tormented now? No. That's why David said, hey, man, you want to deal with it, So it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Most High, man. He's consuming fire himself. That's why Mashiach fanning them flames away from us. Read.
and that you receive not of her plagues.
See, that we receive not of the plagues he's going to bring upon this earth. We just read about it. Read.
For her sins have reached unto heaven.
Her sins have reached unto heaven. The sins that they're doing now have reached to the fourth dimension where the Most High is. They're being reported on all the time. Read.
And the Most High hath remembered her iniquity.
The Most High has remembered her iniquities. Read.
Reward her even as she rewarded you.
She's going to be rewarded just like she rewarded us. Remember the Most High say it was just a little displeased, and they afford the affliction upon us. Read.
And double unto her, double according to her works.
She's going to get double because we got double. He gave us double, they're going to receive double. Read.
In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double.
For the things that she hath done, instead of one going down, there will be two of them going down. Read.
How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen.
We just read. She said, what? I'm a lady of kingdom. There ain't going to be no lady of kingdoms no more. She thinks she's a lady of kingdoms. I sit a queen, read.
And am no widow.
And I'm no widow. We already know the answer to this. We got that in Isaiah 47th chapter. Where they're going to have widowhood, meaning what? They're going to kill, he said he's going to kill the children. And it's going to be widowhood, meaning he's going to kill the men that's married to the women. Read.
And shall see no sorrow.
So they say they don't see no sorrow. Read.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
Come when?
One day.
In one day, these plagues going to come. What's going to come?
Death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High, who judgeth her.
That's right. This will come in one day. Death and mourning and famine. No food. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who judges her. Read.
And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her.
All the ships, man. All the nations that have lived, you know, under the abundance and the costliness of bringing their goods into America, and they hiking the prices up over 100%. Read.
Shall bewail her.
They're going to be wailing. They're going to be crying. Read.
And lament for her. When they shall see the smoke of her burning.
They shall see the smoke of her burning. America burning. Read.
Standing afar off for the fear of her torment.
Torment. These other nations, these other countries going to be standing afar off for the fear of her torment. Mashiach Shah said he's going to burn the military up. All the military, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force. So it's going to be nothing but what? Dust and smell of smoke. Read.
Saying, alas, alas.
He said, alas, alas. Read.
That great city Babylon.
Great city Babylon, which is America, which represents the Edomites. When you read Psalms 137, 9, what is it? 7 to 9. That great city Babylon, read.
That mighty city.
Well, what city now? That's what people talk about. The Edomites are not the so-called white man. That mighty city. What city you gonna say is greater than America? Come on. That mighty city, read.
For in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
How long?
For in 1 hour.
How long?
For in 1 hour.
1 hour. That's what they close that doors. If it wasn't just for a moment. How long?
For in 1 hour.
1 hour. Until the indignation be overpassed. In 1 hour, read.
Is thy judgment come.
Is the judgment of America and these nations will come. Now go to St. John 14 and 1. Now, we're on the chariots. Well, I don't know. I guess we can't go there yet because we ain't made it yet. It's the spirit will bring it out. Go to Ezekiel 20. Start at verse 33.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33.
I hope y'all with me, because the Spirit is bringing forth a scenario of actions that's happening in prophecy so that you can look at what's going on. So now, where are we at now in the Spirit of what we're bringing out? Where are we at?
Where we at?
Not you, you're the armor bearer. I'm not talking to you.
No, future judgment.
No, where we at as a people? On the conference call, where we at? You already answered. Where we at now? Where we at? Hold on, one speak at a time. Where we at? In the what? No. I'm talking about what we've been going over. A story's been told in the Spirit. You know, it's not playing. I'm just saying the story's been told in the Spirit. Where we at now as a people? In the story that we've been going over. At this time. That's why you gotta, this is like, it's like watching a movie. Nah, he ain't no gross darkness. Not, you in gross darkness? I ain't in no gross darkness. I ain't in no gross darkness. The story that we've been going over, where are we at as a people? What we've been reading about. No, we ain't in no affliction. We ain't read about no affliction. I'm talking about what we just read just now. We're in the chariots. Come on. Remember he said, come up hither? We in the chariots. Remember he said, hey, shut the door. If it's just for a moment till the indignation overpass. Didn't he say you're going to destroy this place how long? 1 hour? The Spirit is bringing forth, letting you know in prophecy how these things are going to happen. We went from the racial wars. I mean, it's just going through a lot that I, just tuned in. I'm like I said, I got to go over it myself as the Spirit is moving me to bring whatever it is that's coming out to you. As far as I know, that's where we at right now, right? It was in the chariots. He said, close the doors behind you. Just set it for a moment to the indignation overpass. Then he said you're going to destroy. He said you're going to destroy the place in an hour. Right? Where we at? Remember he said the least are going to fall upon the earth. So the least had to be somewhere. The 1/3 got to be somewhere. So we in the chariots. Now, from the chariots, coming down, let's go to Ezekiel 20 and 33.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Most High our power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
Say, hey, with a mighty hand, Mashiach Yahushua is the hand, the right hand of the Most High, and with stretched out arm, hopefully it ain't the left hand, and with fury poured out will I rule over you. Because some going to be on the right side and some going to be on the left side. You got a choice to choose whatever side you want to be on. Because you have righteous angels that's going to be bringing the blessings, and you got the ones that's on this earth that will bring the destruction, the sword and death and famine and all the things that we read about in Ecclesiastes 39:28. You're going to bring fury upon people. Go ahead.
And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
That's right. He's bringing us out from among all these